The world is changing. Our planet, once a stable and predictable environment, is now undergoing rapid transformations. These changes are not just limited to the weather patterns we experience daily, but extend to the very geography of our world. The landscapes we have known for centuries are shifting and in some cases disappearing altogether. For some nations, this change is existential. Entire communities are being forced to confront the reality that their homes may soon be underwater. The rising sea levels are not just a distant threat but a present danger that is reshaping lives and livelihoods. Rising sea levels, a consequence of climate change, threaten to erase entire countries from the map. The melting of polar ice caps and glaciers contributes to this relentless rise, and the thermal expansion of seawater as it warms only exacerbates the problem. Low-lying island nations like Tuvalu and the Maldives are on the front lines. These islands, which sit just a few meters above sea level, are particularly vulnerable. The encroaching waters threaten not only their physical land but also their cultural heritage and way of life. These countries, with their vibrant cultures and unique ways of life, face an uncertain future. The traditions and histories that have been passed down through generations are at risk of being lost forever if these lands disappear beneath the waves. Coastal regions, too, are at risk. From the bustling cities to the serene beaches, the encroaching sea spares no one. The economic impact is profound, affecting industries such as tourism, fishing, and agriculture that rely heavily on stable coastlines. Bangladesh, a densely populated country, is losing land to the encroaching sea. With millions of people living in low-lying areas, the threat of displacement looms large. The loss of arable land also poses a significant challenge to food security in the region. In the United States, Louisiana's coastline is disappearing at an alarming rate. The wetlands, which serve as a crucial buffer against storms and flooding, are vanishing. This not only increases the vulnerability of inland areas but also disrupts the delicate ecosystems that thrive in these wetlands. These are not isolated incidents. Around the world, coastal regions are grappling with the same challenges. From the Pacific Islands to the Arctic Circle, the rising sea levels are a universal threat that transcends borders and affects us all. They are a stark warning. The dramatic footage of flooding and storm surges serves as a reminder of the power of nature and the urgency of our response. We cannot afford to ignore these signs any longer. As sea levels continue to rise, more and more land will be claimed by the ocean. The time-lapse images of rising tides submerging land over time are a visual testament to the relentless advance of the sea. Each inch of lost land represents homes, habitats, and histories that are being swallowed by the water. The consequences will be far-reaching, impacting millions of people around the globe. Displaced communities will face the challenge of finding new homes and rebuilding their lives. The strain on infrastructure and resources will be immense, and the social and economic costs will be staggering. This is a global crisis that demands our attention. The map highlighting affected coastal regions and the images of international climate change protests underscore the need for collective action. We must come together as a global community to address this crisis and work towards sustainable solutions to protect our planet and its people. The culprit behind this impending crisis is clear rising sea levels. This phenomenon is not just a distant threat, it is happening now, reshaping our coastlines and altering the lives of millions. The relentless advance of the ocean is a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human settlements. Driven by the melting of glaciers and ice sheets which are losing mass at an unprecedented rate, the situation is exacerbated by human activities. The burning of fossil fuels and deforestation are accelerating global warming, causing these ice masses to melt faster than ever before, as well as the thermal expansion of seawater, which occurs as the ocean absorbs more heat. Warmer water expands, contributing significantly to rising sea levels. This dual effect of melting ice and expanding water is a potent combination, driving the relentless rise of the seas. The oceans are steadily encroaching upon land. Coastal defenses, once thought to be robust, are proving inadequate against the persistent onslaught of higher tides and stronger storm surges. Beaches are eroding, and once safe areas are now at risk. Scientific projections paint a grim picture. Researchers around the world are in consensus. If current trends continue, the impacts will be severe and far-reaching. The data is clear, and the evidence is overwhelming. By the end of the century, sea levels are expected to rise by up to 1 meter. This projection is based on conservative estimates, and some scientists warn that the rise could be even greater if greenhouse gas emissions are not curbed. This rise will have devastating consequences. Urban areas, especially those near the coast, will face increased flooding, leading to significant damage to infrastructure and property. The economic costs will be staggering. Coastal communities will be inundated. Infrastructure will be destroyed. The social fabric of these communities will be torn apart as people are forced to leave their homes and livelihoods behind. Millions will be displaced from their homes. The scale of human displacement will be unprecedented, creating a humanitarian crisis of immense proportions. People will be forced to seek refuge in safer areas, leading to overcrowded shelters and strained resources. The human cost of inaction is simply too great to bear. We must act now to mitigate these effects, reduce our carbon footprint, and protect vulnerable communities. The future of our planet and the well-being of countless individuals depend on the choices we make today. Tuvalu, a tiny island nation in the Pacific Ocean, stands as a stark example of the threat posed by rising sea levels. This nation of 9 islands, with a population of just over 11,000 people, has an average elevation of less than 6 feet above sea level. Already the effects of climate change are being felt acutely. Flooding is becoming increasingly common, contaminating freshwater sources and destroying crops. The very existence of this nation is in jeopardy. The potential disappearance of Tuvalu represents more than just the loss of land. It signifies the potential erasure of a unique culture and way of life. Central to Tuvaluan identity is the concept of, which encompasses both the physical land and the people who inhabit it. The threat of losing there has profound cultural and spiritual implications for the Tuvaluan people. It is a loss that cannot be measured in purely economic terms. Section 5. Preserving Heritage in the Digital Age. Faced with the prospect of losing their homeland, the people of Tuvalu are taking extraordinary measures to preserve their culture and heritage. They are creating a digital twin of their nation, a virtual representation of their islands, their history, and their way of life. This digital archive will serve as a testament to the existence of Tuvalu, even if the physical islands are lost to the sea. Section 6. Redefining Sovereignty. The potential disappearance of nations like Tuvalu raises complex legal and political questions. What happens to a nation's sovereignty when its territory is submerged? How can the rights of climate refugees be protected? These are uncharted waters, and the international community is grappling with how to address these unprecedented challenges. The very definition of statehood may need to be re-examined in the face of climate change. Section 7. Seeking Refuge in a Changing World. As sea levels rise, millions of people will be forced to flee their homes. This mass displacement of climate refugees will have far-reaching consequences. Countries like Australia and New Zealand are facing pressure to open their borders to climate migrants. The issue of climate migration is complex and fraught with political challenges. Finding a just and humane solution to this growing crisis is an urgent priority. Section 8. Adapting to a Watery Future. While the international community works to address the root causes of climate change, nations like Tuvalu are also exploring ways to adapt to their changing environment. They are investing in seawalls and other coastal defenses to protect their remaining land. They are also exploring innovative solutions like floating cities, designed to adapt to rising sea levels. Section 9. Digital Nations: A New Horizon. As the physical world changes, so too does the digital realm. The rapid advancement of technology is transforming our cities and our lives in ways we could have never imagined. From the rise of smart cities to the integration of artificial intelligence in our daily routines, the digital landscape is evolving at an unprecedented pace. The concept of digital nations, where citizens interact and govern themselves online, is gaining traction. Imagine a world where geographical boundaries are no longer a limitation, where people from different parts of the globe can come together in a virtual space to share ideas, collaborate on projects, and even participate in governance. This raises intriguing possibilities for nations like Tuvalu. As a small island nation facing the existential threat of rising sea levels, Tuvalu could leverage digital platforms to preserve its culture, maintain its sovereignty, and ensure its voice is heard on the global stage. The digital realm offers a new horizon for nations at risk of being physically erased by climate change. Could a digital nation provide a platform for displaced communities to maintain their cultural identity and sovereignty? Virtual reality and digital platforms could host cultural festivals, community gatherings, and even traditional ceremonies, allowing displaced populations to stay connected to their heritage and each other, no matter where they are in the world. Could it offer a new model for governance in a world increasingly shaped by climate change? Digital governance could provide a more inclusive, transparent, and efficient way to manage resources, make decisions, and address the needs of citizens. It could also facilitate greater participation from people who are often marginalized in traditional political systems. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear. The world must come together to address the challenges of climate change and support those most vulnerable to its effects. International collaboration in digital spaces can foster innovation, share knowledge, and create solutions that are both sustainable and equitable. The fate of nations like Tuvalu hangs in the balance. As we look to the future, we must explore every avenue, including the digital realm, to ensure that no nation is left behind. The horizon may be new, but the challenges are familiar. Together, we can navigate this digital frontier and create a world where everyone has a place, both online and offline.